Good afternoon, guys, and happy Friday to all of your sunshiny faces. Ugh, guys, my throat, I have been talking for a while already. We were having a great big discussion, actually. Me and Matthew, Jack, and my dad all discussing what of our favorites, or what the order of our favorite MCU movies were. That was our big discussion tonight while we were eating dinner. Ended up actually taking a lot longer, and I've been talking for a long time, and now I feel like my throat is all like I'm super hoarse. Like I can't hardly speak, and it also feels very dry too, like I need some water. So yeah, we decided we were going to leave out the actual Avengers movies, just because it'd be kind of hard to sort of figure out, like, I don't know, we just ended up picking the ones that were like the individual like characters movies, if that makes sense, and left out the actual like Avengers movies. So yeah, got into some heated discussions, guys. But anyways, I've been up since 8 o'clock, I think, this morning or something like that. And it has been an interesting day today, because I told you guys yesterday my mom's car accident and everything like that, and the towing company was also an interesting story. But yeah, that was a whole thing, guys. Like, it was exhausting. That's what I actually had to get up early this morning for. Turns out I didn't. Then turns out I was actually, we were supposed to, then weren't again. It was huge headache, all taken care of luckily, and we can go back now and be like, wow, what a crazy day. But yeah, so oh my goodness, actually it was a totally crazy day too, because I told you guys my mom had a doctor's appointment that was scheduled anyway for her family doctor, and was actually super convenient because, like, you know, she's just in a car accident yesterday, and so while she was released from the emergency room, you know, she had this doctor's appointment scheduled anyway, and so she was able to, you know, just get checked out by family doctor as well, and then she has to go for a couple of different specialists as well, because she has a neck specialist already because of her neck and stuff like that, and she had an appointment, no she didn't, maybe she didn't have a neck specialist appointment scheduled, I don't remember. All I remember is that this is just there's so much information to take in right now, and like I'm really good too about, like, my parents will forget things, or like not remember something or whatever, and so like I will be like, oh yeah, point out that thing, or like remember that thing, or, you know, like, or on top of that too, they stinking will wind up forgetting where they left a piece of paper, and they're like, oh wait, let me get that for you, you know, while they're talking on the phone to somebody, and they're like, oh, let me get that for you, and you know, like, be a number of something, or, you know, something like that. They're like, I don't know my license plate number, and obviously the car is not here right now, so we can't just go and check. So my mom has it on like the report and stuff like that, and she's like, let me go check that, and, you know, she's like, I don't know where I left it, and I'm like, okay, you left it right here. So I have been the person sort of like jumping around. Like, I guess that's what I'm sort of good at, is like, I don't like to be the one to like handle or take care of things, or be the point person on stuff, but I'm very good at being the like secretary sort of, I guess, and being like, here, you need this, or you need to say that, or like, don't forget this thing, or, you know, like, you know, you're gonna need this paper, or, you know, like, I don't know, my brain is always going to, like, you know, I'll be like, oh, we can't forget that we have to, you know, remember to, you know, tell them this thing, or, you know, give them this thing, or, you know, say something about that, or whatever, even too if it's like I'm thinking a couple of steps ahead or something like that. So but, you know, my parents too, like, obviously they're, again, taking point on everything, you know, and stuff like that, and so, you know, my mom will be talking to this person about something, and then has to schedule this thing. I told you guys too, she has a doctor's, what is it called, like a procedure that I think on Tuesday anyway that was scheduled, so she is, I believe, will still be okay and able to go to that, but again, there's just like, you know, she is bouncing around between like that and actually having to deal with this, and then my dad too is like bouncing around between like having to deal with the insurance and then other, you know, stuff like that as well. And so again, like I said, the towing problem today was a huge, it was an all day thing too, which was super annoying. And involved multiple people, because like I said, me and Matthew had to go there this morning, and then, guys, it's just it is yeah, so like I said, we have had a crazy day. But that was why we had to get up early this morning to be able to leave. So actually though, kind of good news was that my dad was able to stop on his way home today and stopped at Caputo's. We ended up getting pizza, $6 cheese pizzas, and made them for dinner tonight, which Jack is now the Friday night pizza dinner maker, which is kind of cool because I don't even have to worry about like setting the stove or staying in the kitchen making sure it comes out or anything like that. He's kind of, I think, proud of himself too because he's in high school. But being honest, like, I learned how to make, I think the first thing I ever used, I learned how to make on like the stove or, you know, using the oven or anything like that, was pancakes. Actually was the first thing that I learned how to make. My mom was kind of, you know, like teaching me, but like I remember there was a couple mornings I got up early and actually would make pancakes on my own, and I had to have been like at least like maybe somewhere between 11 and like 13 or something like that when I probably first like learned. And like obviously I'd made cookies with her before and, you know, all that kind of stuff, but like pancakes were the first thing I ever learned how to do on my own. And I feel like that's not that most difficult thing, you know, like I don't even think I learned how to make like grilled cheese before I learned how to make like pancakes on by myself. So again, I learned how to make those, but like Jack is now 15, I guess, so a little bit, you know, older than what I was. And like I think by the time I was 15 though, I was totally like cooking and, you know, was able to like make pretty much a meal if I needed to, you know, kind of thing, or cook for other people too. You know, throw stuff in the oven and cook it on the stove or something like that. So like, you know, it wasn't just heating things up in the microwave. I had actually learned how to like, you know, again, make grilled cheese by this point, at least at 15, grilled cheese and, you know, pancakes, and I could probably was able to brown ground beef. You know, again, knew how to throw pizzas in the oven and, you know, probably throw other stuff, french fries in the oven, because I told you guys too, I don't like the way certain things taste warmed up in the microwave. I'd rather have them heated and cooked from the stove or in the oven or something like that. So like french fries and stuff like that, I hate the way they taste in the microwave. Like even like just the bagged, you know, stuff from like, you know, Aldi or something like that. I don't like crinkle cut fries. I can't stand them warmed up in the microwave. They don't have the same kind of taste and stuff like that. So anyways though, Jack is kind of now learning like, you know, how to cook stuff, and I think honestly maybe Matthew is a little bit younger too, when he kind of learned how to make that stuff again on like, you know, the stove and everything. But he took a cooking class when he was in high school. It was like a gym slash, I think it was maybe gym slash, or no, I think he actually did, he took like foods. So he learned how to like cook and stuff like that, and it was like nutrition and stuff and all that type of class. And so they teach him how to use the stove and everything. And I learned too when I was in middle school, I know, and I had known before that even how to cook. But I remember I had a home ec class half the semester, or I think it was in trimester. So half of the trimester was was sewing for the home ec, and then the other half of the trimester for the home ec class was for cooking. So yeah, the trimester was split up into 3 parts, but then that one part of the trimester is split up into 2 parts as well. So we did sewing for one and cooking for the other. And in the cooking class, again, I learned, you know, most of the stuff that I actually already knew how to do already. Like again, we browned ground beef, and we did, I don't know, all kinds of different stuff, probably made cookies. The browning of the ground beef for some reason was the one thing I really remember. Maybe we made pudding or something like that too. And like I said, maybe cookies or something, I don't totally remember, but regardless. So I think I was younger than Jack when, you know, obviously I knew how to do this, but he was like, I don't really know how to like cook stuff on the stove or in the oven or anything like that. And so now they have, especially to the new oven, which Jack was just starting to get used to using the old one and, you know, turning it on and stuff like that. And so now I was like, well, now it's easier. All you gotta do is press some buttons and it does most of the work for you, and even beeps to let you know when stuff is done. Because like when our old oven would preheat, we'd just be like, oh, 10 minutes maybe, I don't know, I would just sort of guess. Like there was never actually a way to know if it was done preheating. We just totally would be like, oh yeah, feels kind of warm. I don't know. So now like the new oven will beep when it's actually gone been done preheating and everything. So I was like, yeah, you just hit some buttons. So now he's like, oh, I know how to do this. He's like, I hit this one and then this one and that one, and I just sort of stand there. I'm like, yep, you got that. And then he's like, all right, now I set the timer, and you know, and throws the pizzas in and takes them back out. So you know, like I said, he can do that by himself. And I was like, okay, now, like, you know, even just having that basic though, like, you know how to turn the oven on, you know how to turn it off, you know how to preheat it, you know how to read, you know, like, you know, on, you know, if you were reading something that was like, oh, you have to throw this in the oven or something like that, or even directions for recipes, you know how to do all that kind of stuff. So it's not like, okay, this is a completely foreign concept. So just learning how to put pizzas in the mic or in the oven, you know, will teach you, I guess, basic skills of how to even use the oven at all. And obviously to like check to see if it's done, and you know, is the cheese bubbly and stuff like that, you know. So again, that whole sort of thing. So Fridays have turned into Jack makes the pizzas, and he is responsible for pretty much everything. He cooks the pizzas. Well, you know, we bring them in, and they're like the take and go pizzas. So bring them inside. He takes them out of the things, puts them on a pizza tray, preheats the oven, everything like that. Then, you know, puts them in, sets the timer, lets it cook for, you know, I think it's like 450 for like 28, maybe 18 to 20 minutes. We don't really put in a little bit longer. So again, cook the pizzas and everything like that. Then he takes them out, and then once we're done eating, he is responsible for putting any leftovers away too. So it's nice that nobody has to actually cook now. It's Jack's responsibility. Like, me and my mom both don't have to do it, and obviously my mom too is, you know, was in a car accident yesterday. So you know, it's just been Jack's responsibility for the last couple Fridays now. So he's like, I think I can graduate and like make some new stuff too and things like that, you know, because he's learned, you know, kind of, again, just the bare minimum of, you know, oven usage, I guess, and, you know, using pot holders, how you're supposed to take stuff out of the oven and all that kind of stuff. Because again, like, once you do that, then you're like, okay, you want to try and make french fries for yourself in the oven, you want to try and make I don't know, I'm trying to think of anything else that you throw in the oven that's like a simple meal other than pizza. Because most of the other stuff is like you throw a casserole and you throw this thing in, or, you know, whatever and stuff like that. So he hasn't moved up into raw meats yet because that's a whole nother thing, is like, you know, I mean, it's not that difficult, but you know, you gotta check to make sure the meat isn't still raw when it comes out and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, like I said, learning, but he's got basics down, and it's pretty much, again, like, it's something too that like he can be responsible for. So on Fridays he's responsible for making sure that the pizzas that we bring home from the grocery store are cooked. If not, we don't have dinner that night. So yeah, that's, like I said, his responsibility. But my dad went to the grocery stores, went to Caputo's, got this stuff there, went to Jewel, and unfortunately he had the first problem now with the I was telling you guys too a while ago. I used to have the problems with my phone number sometimes not going through, and so my dad ended up going over to customer service later because he had the same problem. And a couple of my, you know, I actually was using several coupons, and 2 of them we ended up not getting off because I wasn't there to show the lady, you know, like, I have these ones loaded as well. But she was able to actually put my number in, even though my dad was, you know, shopping and stuff like that, but that's the one we use. So you'll put my number in and see, oh yeah, you did have the ones for like the weekly ad coupons in there. And she's like, I don't know why it wouldn't have come off. And my dad was like, I put my number in, and she's like, it's showing that you didn't put your number in at all. And he's like, I did, and I was waiting there. And he said like the kid was like never even, like, I don't think he ever even hit enter like on the computer when he was done scanning this stuff. Because my dad was like, he was like, something was really weird. He's like, I asked him twice, like, is $25 what I'm supposed to pay or something like that? Because I told him it was supposed to be like under 20 bucks. And like, for the first time, like, he said nothing, and the second time he was like, yeah, it's $25, or, you know, whatever it was. And he was like, it just seemed really weird, like he didn't finish the transaction totally, like, to accept the number, if that makes sense. So my dad did end up having his first problem, because so far I was like, Dad, you have, like, you know, it's like, I don't know. He's never had a problem with it so far. And then today too, when, you know, everything else, dealing with, again, all the, you know, car accident, insurance, towing, all that kind of stuff, problems from yesterday. And then he goes there and he has to still go in, like, to Jewel, then to customer service, and go and check, you know, get the because it was like $8.25 he ended up getting back, because that was how much the coupons didn't come off for. And the like I said, I also had two $1 off coupons that didn't come off, but they're not like for the weekly ones. It wasn't that great big of a deal. So yeah, it would have been like $10, which would have been like, I think it was like 16 or something like that, what it would have been. But he ended up paying 26, I think it was, and then ended up getting the 8 to 25 for whatever it was back. So yeah, he did kind of have his first little stumble there at Jewel for the first time, but ended up getting everything at Caputo's, got everything at Jewel, so we don't have to worry about that. But we are getting the rental tomorrow, which is why, again, like, we weren't able to go like out to the grocery store today because Matthew had the car that he had to work with. So that's why my dad had to stop on the way home to give Matthew also enough time to be able to still get to work. So yeah, guys, like I said, it's been kind of a headache, but we should have the rental on Saturday, which means that we can go to the other two grocery stores on Sunday. I think we might go to Menards tomorrow in the like mid-afternoon or something like that later, because then again, my mom also has another appointment, doctor's appointment anyway, that she already had scheduled that she has to go to as well, which, like I told you guys, it's like a coincidence that, you know, it probably actually a blessing more that my mom actually did have these doctor's appointments scheduled ahead of time, so that she can get, you know, sort of things looked at anyway from the accident as well. So yeah, guys, I'm losing my voice even more because I've been talking now for like 15 minutes, on top of all of the debating that happened in the kitchen earlier. I'm going to be talking to you guys tomorrow and have like no voice. So anyways, I'll see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give it a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you guys would subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.